to have it so branded that they'll never want to go back to this living this situation again for at least another 1,000 years, because we're the ones that are going to carry this message on. That's why they tried to lower our lifespan down to 75, 80, 85 years old, filling us up with alcohol and drugs and all kinds of cigarettes and even what do you call the vapor, the vapes. All that stuff is there to kill you. And if they can process your avatar in 80 years and then you come back reincarnated, because we keep coming back because we're internal beings. We are multi-dimensional internal beings that are we will able to recycle ourselves back into the system, okay? But our minds will be wiped and we'll be starting this whole ridiculous cycle all over again. They wanted that. The older you are, the more advanced you are. This here is your weapon. This here is your weapon, okay? Do you think I was this smart when I was 20 years old? No. I was tripping over, life itself at 20. I was tripping over life itself at 40. I was tripping over life itself at 50. It only when I hit close to 60 before things really started, I was like around the 50 years old, things started really coming to fruition for me. That was 22 years ago, which is, around the 9/11 time, 26 years ago. Geez, I guess time is flying. So that's what I mean. 26 years ago for me. I really started taking a proactive approach to things in 2007 when the Lehman Brothers did the meltdown. And we were putting money and bailing out all these car dealerships and everything else with taxpayer money. I said, that's it. This is too much corruption for me. And I started making my own moves to protect myself and my family. My kids, I got 2 kids back in Canada. And I got the rest of them. I've got 3 kids back in Canada. And the other 3 kids are overseas. Yeah. And they're happy to be outside of the fortification of Canada. They're very happy to be out of it. We want this to burn into and be etched into people's minds. The people that are out there doing the chaos and all the bullshit right now will be picked up and dealt with. They are not part of the solution. They're going to be dealt with, yeah. Yes, Fuchi's going to prison and Gitmo. Yes, he's going to be dealt with along with all the other ones. This is all the exposure being dealt with right now for all the NPCs, all the sleepers that are out there. Hey, Christina. Hey, Jobo. Are you going to get back? Yes. But we're going to receive fundamental money. However they want to calculate it, I really don't care. If they give me a list of saying, oh, this is what they're going to pay you back on, whatever, I probably won't even look at it. I don't care. Just put the money you owe me in my QFS account. Give me a bunch of blank checks so I can go, buy a chunk of property, right? And, this is basically a not just an IQ test of what's been going on. It's also, I know that everybody out there, especially all this family, all the intuitives out there that have been following me for a long time, the way you think now is probably not the way you thought 10, 15 years ago, or, even 20 years ago, right? It's not. Your whole conception and your whole mindset is totally different than what it was 10 years ago, right? Am I correct? Well, yeah, this is part of the learning process of what's happening. There's a lot of people out there say, they've moved out of Canada, they're gone. They'll never come back because of what Canada represented and how they failed miserably, not just during the COVID times, but their their mental psychoses of what they are now, defending something that's not defendable. It's an illusion to them. Canada is an illusion. That's all it is. You know, and they're swinging all these Canadian flags around. You know, that's all been designed by the cabal. The Canadian flag is only a corporation. It's not a sovereign country. Never has been. Thank you, Monner. Yeah. No, you're not going to lose your pension. Nobody loses their pension. It's going to be added to. Your pension will be added to. You'll go from, say, 1,500, let's just say a number of, say, 1,500, 2,000 to about 6,000 or 7,000. Yep. That's because that's what they should be paying us, 6,000 or 7,000. You should be able to, do anything you want, and that's what they're not doing. You can barely survive on the money. They're stealing $4,000 to $5,000 a month from you. That's any government that has been in Canada or the United States or any other pension country or whatever. They've been stealing your pension money. That money's coming back to you. So we're about to have all that given back to us, or at least have that adjusted back to what it should be. Yeah. They're the ones that are being taken down, not us. It's not going to end well for them. No. Hey, Joby. Your pension will be fine. Exactly. Canada is part of the United States. Yes, it is. It's part of the Republic or the Kingdom, the North American Kingdom, because of it always was. They're just playing the game with you, the head games with you right now to see who's on board and who's not. They're just, they're looking at all the dum-dums out there. And, we have very, very low IQs. The IQs back 50 years ago were much higher than the IQs today. Because 50 years ago, we weren't being poisoned, through, multi-different sources. Yeah. And not to mention our schools. Look at what they've done to our children. I mean, if it wasn't for the education, would we be witnessing all these libtards running around with blue hair and pink hair, and actually going out of their way by looking ugly? Not to mention their smell. It's absolutely. I want to throw up on them. I'm just like, oh my God. When was the last time you had a bath? It's just brutal. I see one right now. I walk across the street. They're filthy. Not just filthy, but they're filthy minded. I won't do, I look at them from a distance with disgust. Every time I pin, it bounces back off. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Well, the games that are, they're being played right now, especially on this social media stuff. Yeah, there's supposed to be 7 kingdoms. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Established after Nasser. Yeah, and that's all going to be. They're the big leadership around the world are talking about it right now. That's how it's going to work out, as what it has been depicted in the Bible, and the Bible's even being rewritten right now. The book. We have 711 stories in the Bible that have been taken out by the demonics. We were down to 66 Bibles, or 66 stories in the Bible, and a lot of that has been manipulated. And anybody that says that Jesus never walked this planet, you're on a different frequency. Yeah. The Canadian flag is a corporation flag. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of blood on it. Yeah. And they, speaking of blood on their hands, Castro Jr. he's already been dealt with. You're looking at an avatar there, or a body double with him and, what's her name? Perry? I know, you know who I'm talking about. Those two individuals are this there to create anxiety and depression. Yeah, they want this. The White Hats want to burn this craziness into us so bad that we never want to come back here again. And I know it's very, very difficult. It's very difficult for the intuitives, because we're seeing it. We're seeing it all. The the NPCs and the sleepers. They're lucky if they can remember their middle name. Yeah. Yes, the oldest Bible is the Ethiopian Bible. Yeah, 88 books, including the Enoch. Yeah. Well, that's why there's something about that in the Ethiopian, Eastern Africa, that a lot of that was kept. But Ethiopian Bible has been kept out of the mainstream. Okay, but the Ethiopians have protected it very, very well. But that's all going to be assimilated, and it's all going to be annexed in with the new written Bible. We have very, very smart people, Raiders of the Lost Ark level type scientists rewriting it right now, and it's being done through all kinds of different symbolisms, and it's when you go into the pyramids, right? There's a study going on right now. The scientists going in there, and they're actually playing the music inside these temples or whatever they're doing, and they're putting sand on the whatever they're doing, and the sand is actually turning that into hieroglyphics, okay, of those particular symbols, and they're saying, well, how did that come from? But it's all being developed right now, and they're taking very symbolic pictures of this. And they're trying to piece all that